So you want to learn how to make hot sauce. We are in France and I've been here for 2 months and I am craving chili. I know butter and bread is amazing, but I need chili. So I want to show you. I made 4 sauces, and we just ate the green one. But I'm going to show you how to make a sauce. And I keep them in a jar like this just because it's very convenient, and I suggest that you do the same. Right now with having to be locked down and everything, this is very, very convenient way to preserve some sauce and just have it in the refrigerator for any time that you need a little bit of spice in your life. Go to the fridge and the sauce is already made. So the reason why I want to show you how to make salsa is because it's easy to make, good for you, instant flavor to any dish, and very, very convenient. And so the one thing that I want to kind of remind you is that if you want to preserve a sauce to be in your refrigerator for like 3 or 4 months, even up to 6, the best thing to do is to purchase a glass jar like this or like this, and just put boiling water in there, let it hang out a little bit, and toss it out in the sink. Then pour your hot sauce, hot liquid in here, let it evaporate a little bit, put the cap on, and in your refrigerator. And it will last for a long time. So the one thing to remember is that bacteria grows in warm, wet environment. So when you heat this up, you're killing any potential bacteria that could be on the jar or on the sauce. One thing to know, how to preserve. The next tip I want to share with you is look at where I'm at. I'm in the garden, and that's my inspiration when I make a sauce. So if you know the simple technique of making a sauce in general, to me that's more valuable kind of tips and knowledge that I can pass on to you. It's more valuable than any recipe. You know why? Because I really encourage you to take these techniques that I want to show you and make your own sauce. So here we have like tomatoes that are gonna grow. They're starting some tomatoes. We have lettuce here, and we have some piment, some chilies that are growing in the garden, and some fresh herbs. And you know what? If I don't have cilantro, because in Mexico we use a lot of cilantro, here some basil or some parsley, it doesn't matter. It's just that like making a sauce, sometimes to add some fresh herbs at the end just takes it to the next level of flavor without having to use too much fat and salt as a flavor agent. The next thing to know, so first, quality of ingredients, number one. If you have heirloom tomatoes and you make a salsa with roasted or boiled or grilled or charred heirloom tomatoes from the garden, your salsa is obviously going to be that much better. How much onion, how much tomato, how much chili, it's up to you. Even in Mexico, each person makes a sauce in the way that they like. So the technique is the most important. So the technique of making a salsa, you can boil all of the ingredients and put it into a blender. You can char them on a just skillet and take off a little bit of the skin, then mash them up in a molcajete or in the food processor, or just chop them up with 2 knives, or just cut them up, cut everything up, mix it together, season it with a little bit of salt, a little bit of more chili, olive oil even at the end, make everything come together, and that's a salsa. What else? Number one important tip that I have to share with you, okay? Think, if you're wondering how to balance a sauce, think about this. All of us are the same in this one way, that we can all detect 5 main flavors in your tongue. So you want to make sure that you want to balance it as much as possible between sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and savory. So balancing all of those together is going to make your perfect salsa, and I encourage you to try some of these salsas at home. So basically a sauce can be anything starting from just chilies and salt, chilies and salt and oil, chilies, salt and vinegar, chilies, salt and lime, chilies with tomatoes, chilies with peppers to kind of like make them a little bit, make it a little bit less hot, dry chilies, see, dry chilies like these chili anchos that were brought over from Mexico, or chile morita with tomato and onion, and it's a different salsa. So basically, what I want to show you is that you could make any kind of combination, but what you want to focus on is enhancing the chili, right? So I was just asking you, like, you know, when you go to the market here and you see chilies like this, especially, like, do you know what to do with them?
Nope.
No.
No, I don't know.
And who do you think is like buying these then? If French people are not buying them, in general, do you think like there's like a community of like people from like Africa, India, islanders?
Yes.
Yeah, and they know what to do with it, but you probably every time you see it at the market, you just skip it, right?
Yeah.
How about peppers? Do you ever like really work with peppers or
Yes,
cook?
for salad.
Just in salad?
Yeah.
Only? Never like in a sauce?
No.
No? Oh, that's funny.
It's for me.
First things first, we need to decide what kind of sauce we're going to make. I'm going to try to make something that's a little bit mild with using more tomatoes and maybe even red peppers. And I'm going to make something that's really, really hot. That it's going to be like something that's only for when you're looking to have that experience of burn and you get your chili fix. So what I like to think about first is, do I want to make my sauce savory using, you know, shallots, onion, red onion, garlic, green onion. You can use any kind of onion that you like. My sour agent could be lemon, lime, vinegar, and my sweet agent can be like pineapple, honey, maple syrup, like what you use maple syrup in like a barbecue sauce or something like this. It's up to you. And so I want to show you that I make my own sauces. This one is a habanero and mango. This one is just a chile piquin for anything that you like spicy. And this one is where I use that kind of same concept that I use with all of my sauces. Okay, so that's the my top seller chili caramel, and that's because it has tamarindo in it, because that's my sour agent. Okay, so first things first. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the basics of any hot sauce. And really, if I look at the history of how to make a chili sauce, what I found is that this is like the closest I can get to a molcajete here. Obviously, the ones in Mexico are made out of volcanic rock. But the first sauce ever made that archaeologists can find is basically just chilies put into a molcajete with some sea salt. And then you just mash it together and you put it on the food. That's it. So from here, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to just heat it up with a little bit of vinegar to try to preserve it. Then I'll put it in a jar. So let me chop some things up and then I'll get back to the next step. To make our salsa matcha, we have to just chop up some chilies. So you can use chile de árbol, morita, chile ancho. Here I'm using morita and ancho. Then we're gonna press some garlic and some shallots. And so we want to do is just take the ends of the shallots. And I like the combination that this does. This gives the sauce a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of aromatic savory from the garlic, some sesame seeds, some pumpkin seeds. You can also put peanuts. Then we drizzle this with good olive oil. You could also do peanut oil or grapeseed oil, any kind of oil you like. It's okay. Then some fresh black peppers. The secret here is fresh black pepper and fresh coriander seeds. Always use fresh spices. Then once it kind of like confits together, cooked it low and slow, and caramelizes the garlic. We're going to toss it into a food processor along with some red wine vinegar. And here you could also use apple cider vinegar, whatever you like. Some fresh sea salt, and grind it all together until it becomes a nice homogenized pulp. All you have to do is put it into a nice clean jar, and voila, there's your salsa macha. Then here, to make a roasted tomato salsa, all we have to do is cut up an onion or two, then some tomatoes. Heirloom tomatoes are the best. This is the best that I can find here. Then you just put it in a dry skillet. You could do a cast iron skillet, a comal, then some chilies, 1 or 2 pieces of garlic cloves. Then when you get this nice roasted char on the edges, just like here, we let it cool a little bit and just toss it into the blender. That same water from the tomato is going to make it saucy. All we have to do is add a little bit of sea salt and some fresh lime juice for acidity, a little bit of cilantro. It is roasted tomato salsa after all, but you can use any other herb if you like. Here for a avocado salsa, all we have to do is scrape the avocados and put it into a little food processor with another little piece of garlic, some chili, and some cilantro. You don't have to put garlic if you don't like, but I love garlic. So some sea salt, more fresh lime juice. And I have a little tip. Limes here are expensive, so I am going to get the last bit of juice by scraping on the edge like this. So this is our boiling sauce method, and all we do is put red pepper. So red pepper sauce is what I'm going to call it. And we're going to use the boiling method by putting everything into a pot, the chilies, the pepper, the habanero. Look at those seeds. Oh my gosh, it's going to be hot. Some more garlic, sea salt, red wine vinegar, any kind of vinegar you like, some water to kind of boil everything together, and boil it for about 10 minutes until all soft and easy to grind into a blender, and grind until all the seeds are broken up and you have a nice paste like this. Into a clean jar, let it cool, put the lid on, and you have it for a long time. Then this is the salsa that is very popular in the Yucatan, and it's basically chopped up pineapple with habanero. You could use red onion and it'll look pretty because the onions will become pink once they marinate. But here I'm going to use some shallot. You can use white onion as well. Fresh shallot, nice and thin. Then we are going to chop up the pineapple as well, and I'll just toss it into a bowl. And here with the shallots, I like to put a little bit of the vinegar so it starts to marinate, and some salt. Then we chop up the pineapple into nice cubes. However you like. You could do very, very small chop or medium, however you like. And we love this. This is really popular, kind of like in the Yucatan. You can put on top of your tacos, like tacos al pastor or cochinita pibil, or you could use it as a dip on top of tostadas, or even ceviche to give it a little bit of a tropical flavor. This is not for everybody. These chilies are very hot. So here are all our beautiful salsas and condiments and creamy sauce that you can enjoy on any of your Mexican dishes.